Well, a very warm welcome to the History Show here on Uxbridge FM. And it's a warm welcome to Ken Pearce, who's back with another history talk. Hi, Ken.
Hello, everybody. Reginald Brie, that's spelt B-R-I-E, was born in Egham, Surrey in 1895. But sadly, both his parents died when he was young. And so he came to live with his aunt and uncle and their children in the Greenway here in Uxbridge. Many will know the house because it was for a long time the headquarters of the local Red Cross. Near their home was the secondary school, Uxbridge County School, now incidentally called Uxbridge High School. So Reggie Brie became a pupil there from 1908 to 1912, and then left to start an engineering apprenticeship with a firm at Southall. But war came in 1914, and Brie joined the Royal Field Artillery. But later he was able to transfer to the Royal Flying Corps and trained as an observer. In May 1918, his squadron was moved to France, and he was soon flying over the battlefields. But in September 1918, his aircraft was attacked by German fighters, the plane was damaged, and he and his pilot had to make a forced landing. And so they became prisoners of war. The armistice, of course, came in November, so their captivity was short. And Reggie Brie stayed on in the RAF until 1922. He then obtained a post with the Shell Oil Company, but outside working hours, as a member of the RAF Volunteer Reserve, he took flying lessons and managed to obtain his pilot's license. About this time, a new type of flying machine began to appear, the autogyro. This was a small propeller-driven aircraft with rotary blades fixed on top. The blades were not connected to the plane, but they just went round as the plane moved forward. The effect was to give some vertical as well as horizontal motion. The idea had come from a Spanish engineer named Juan de la Cierva, who found financial support in this country for his project. And so he set up his company in a field at Heston. Reggie Brie arranged a visit to the site and was fortunate, after being given some training, to be given a chance to fly. Fly solo, of course. In 1930, he was offered a job with the company, and the following year became the company's chief pilot. Meanwhile, his old school, Uxbridge County School, had moved to Hillingdon Village and had been renamed Bishopsholt School. One sunny Saturday afternoon in June 1931, a reunion of past and present pupils was taking place on the school playing field. In mid-afternoon, an autogyro appeared overhead, and to everyone's astonishment, it came lower and actually landed on the field. And out stepped Reggie Brie. Among those who welcomed him were some of his teachers from 20 years earlier. This was a truly sensational event. Few had even seen an autogyro at close quarters, and it proved to be an unforgettable occasion. Throughout the 1930s, Brie flew Cierva autogyros in demonstrations, on delivery flights, and in competitions. He was the first person in the country to be awarded an autogyro pilot's license, and in 1935 became the first person to take off and land from a ship at sea. The company was now based at Hanworth Aerodrome. By the late 1930s, the next step in flying began to appear. The plane's propeller was removed from the autogyro, and the rotary blades were now connected to the engine. This, of course, is a helicopter. And Brie was the first person to receive a helicopter pilot's license in this country. On the outbreak of war in 1939, Brie rejoined the RAF and was, of course, involved with autogyros. His aircraft helped to calibrate our early radar stations and were based on ships for convoy protection. And then Reggie Brie was sent to America to establish and run a helicopter school. And there he became the first Britisher to pilot a Sikorsky helicopter. After the war, Reggie Brie became the leader of the British European Airways Experimental Helicopter Unit, first at Gatwick and later at Yeovil. In 1958, he joined Westland Helicopters as assistant to the technical director and was involved in the planning of the Battersea heliport. He joined as technical director and retired aged 74 and died in 1988 after a long and busy retirement. Nowadays at Bishop's Hall School, the Reginald Brie Prize for Technical Studies, set up by his daughter Elizabeth, is awarded annually. As the pioneer of rotary wing flying in Britain, he surely should be remembered by a plaque on the front wall of that house in the Greenway.
Thank you very much, Ken. That was great. Now we've got another one coming up, so do stay tuned